Hello my dear students, now let us discuss about negative skin friction. Negative skin friction is a downward drag acting on a pile due to the downward moment of the surrounding compressible soil relative to the pile. So it is nothing but it is the downward drag acting on a pile due to the downward moment of the surrounding compressible soil relative to the pile. Okay, here this happens when the surrounding compressible soil has been recently filled or formed. Okay, when compressible soil is recently filled or formed, this negative skin friction occurs. As the soil consolidates, the earth fill moves downward, developing friction forces on the perimeter of the pile, which tend to carry the pile further into the ground. The negative skin friction may also be developed by the lowering of the groundwater, the increase in effective stress causing consolidation of the soil, with the resultant settlement and friction force being developed on the pile. Okay, it is also developed due to the lowering of the groundwater and thereby increasing the effective stress, which causes the consolidation of the soil. Okay, it is mainly due to the downward movement of surrounding compressible soil relative to the pile. You can see here this is a downward movement of the soil, that is loose fill. When the load is applied on this, the soil moves downward, so that the friction is developed like this. Okay, so this friction developed is called as negative skin friction. For individual piles, the magnitude of negative friction Q and F may be taken as this formula. For cohesive soil, Q and F is equal to P into C into LF. This is for individual piles. The negative skin friction can be taken as, for cohesive soil, this formula. For granular soils, Q and F is equal to half into LF square P gamma K into EF. Okay, where P is perimeter of the pile, then LF is depth of fill or soil which is moving vertically, C is cohesion of soil in zone of LF, then K is earth pressure coefficient, that is Ka active earth pressure less than neutral rest earth pressure at rest, and it is always also it is less than passive earth pressure. Gamma is unit weight of soil and F is coefficient of friction, that is equal to tan phi. So now let us solve some examples on this piles. So a wooden pile is being driven with a drop hammer weighing 20 kilonewton and having a free fall of 1.0 meter. The penetration in the last blow is 5 mm. Determine the load carrying capacity of the pile according to the engineering news formula. Okay, here it is asked to calculate the load carrying capacity of the pile based on ENR formula. We have ENR formula, that is to find the allowable load or capacity, that is equal to WH divided by 6 into S plus C. Okay, where W, that is weight of the hammer, that is 20 kilonewton, and H is the height of fall, that is here it is 1 meter. So if you write in terms of centimeter, that is equal to 100 centimeter, and S is equal to 0.5 centimeter, the penetration of the last blow, that is 5 mm, so 0.5 centimeter. Okay, or if you write in terms of, okay, it is, you have to write in terms of centimeter only, all other units are also in centimeter. So S is equal to 0.5 centimeter, and C is equal to constant. For the drop hammer, it is taken as it should be, you have to consider it as 2.5 centimeter. This I have explained while explaining the theory. Okay, so now substitute, direct substitution, QA or load carrying capacity of the pile, that is equal to W is 20 into H, that is 100, divided by 6 into S is 0.5 plus 2.5. So we will get 111.1 kilo Newton. Let us take next example. A N pile group has to be proportioned in a uniform pattern in soft clay with equal spacing in all directions. Assuming any value of C, determine the optimum value of spacing of piles in the group. Take N is equal to 25 and M is equal to 0.7. Neglect the end bearing effect and assume that each pile is circular in section. Okay, so here the optimum spacing of individual piles is based on the premise that the efficiency of the pile group is unity. Okay, that is the total load carried by the piles acting individually is equal to the load carried by the group action. Here let us consider the center to center spacing of each pile is equal to S. Okay, diameter of the each pile is D. Now it is given number N is equal to 25. So width of the each pile group, that is equal to 4S plus D. This is the formula to find the width, that is 4S plus D. Okay, length of the pile is L. Load carried by group action, that is QUG is equal to C into 4S plus D into L, that is equal to, when you simplify we get 4CL into 4S plus D. Okay, this is the load carried by the group of the piles. When the load carried by the pile acting individually, that is given by QUG2, that is equal to N into MC into pi dl. Okay, where N is number of the piles 25 into MC, that is 0.7 into C pi d L. Okay, here M is given here 0.7 into C pi dl. When you simplify this, you get 55 dl dot C. Okay, into C. So now we have, this is, let it be equation 1 and this is 2. So equating 1 and 2, what we'll get? 4CL into 4S plus D, that is equal to 55 DL into C. Simplify this, that is 16S plus 4D is equal to 55D. So S is equal to 51 divided by 16D, that is equal to 3.19D. Okay, so hence the spacing should be equal to 3.19 times the diameter of the pile. Okay, so this is asked the same, determine the optimum value of spacing of piles in the group. So that is equal to 3.19 times the diameter of the pile. Okay, very simple. Just see the formula for the group action and also for the individual of the pile, then equate those two, so you will get what is S. Okay, next let us take one more example. A reinforced concrete pile weighing 30 kilonewton is driven by a drop hammer weighing 40 kilonewton and having an effective fall of 0.8 meter. The average set per blow is 1.4 centimeter. The total temporary elastic compression is 1.8 centimeter. Assuming the coefficient of restitution as 0.25 and a factor of safety of 2, determine the ultimate bearing capacity and the allowable load for the pile. So how we can calculate? It is given P is equal to weight of the hammer 30 kilonewton and not weight, that is the weighing, the weight of the hammer is 40 kilonewton. This is reinforced concrete pile. The weight of the pile, concrete pile, is 30 kilonewton and weight of the hammer is 40 kilonewton, and this is efficiency mu h into h, that is equal to 0.8 meter, effective fall of 0.8 meter or equal to 80 centimeter, and s is equal to 1.4 centimeter average set per blow, and c is equal to, that is elastic compression, equal to 1.8 centimeter. Then small e, that is equal to 0.25, that is coefficient of restitution, and effect of safety f is equal to 2. We have this condition: if w greater than e into p, we have to use this formula to find the efficiency. Okay, so that is NB is equal to w plus e square p divided by w plus p. W, that is 40, plus e square, e is 0.25 square, into p, p is 30, divided by 40 plus 30 equal to 0.597. Now we have formula to find the load, that is ultimate load, QF, that is equal to nu h into w into nu b divided by s plus c by 2. Okay, substitute the values here, that is nu h into h, that is 80 centimeter, into this full term. Okay, nu h is 80 into w is 40 into nu b, that is calculated value 0.597, divided by s is 1.4 plus c is 1.8 divided by 2. So we'll get 830 kilonewton. So QA, allowable load, is equal to QF divided by factor of safety. So that is 830 divided by 2 equal to 415 kilonewton. Like this you can calculate the ultimate bearing capacity and allowable load. Okay, this is ultimate bearing capacity QF, and allowable load is nothing but the QF divided by factor of safety. Okay, so now let us discuss about initial and routine test. So the first, let us discuss about initial test. It is conducted to achieve one or more of the following objectives: to determine the ultimate load capacity and safe capacity, to provide guidelines for setting up the limits of acceptance for routine test, to study the effect of piling on the stability of adjacent structures and assess the suitability of type of piles to be used, to get an idea of suitability of piling system, to check on the calculated loads by static and dynamic formulae, will be conducted in case of important and major projects. Number of tests may be one or more depending on the availability of information on strata and past experience. So this is about initial test. Second one is routine test, that is conducted to achieve one or more of the following objectives, that is to determine the safe load on the pile, to check the extent of safety for the specific functional requirements of the pile at working load, detection of any unusual performance contrary to the finding of the initial test. Number of tests may generally be 0.5% of the total number of piles at the site, may be increased up to 2% depending on the importance of the project and subsoil conditions. For single piles carried out for a test load of at least 1.5 times the working load, the maximum settlement under the test loading in position not exceeding 12 mm. Similarly, for group piles carried out for a test load of at least equal to the working load, and the maximum settlement under the test loading in position not exceeding 25 mm. So this is about routine test. So initial test and routine test are very important before starting any type of the test on piles. So here you have to note down for the single piles that the test load at least 1.5 times the working load, and maximum settlement under the test loading in position not exceeding 12 mm. For the group of piles, it is carried out for a test load of at least equal to the working load and maximum settlement under the test loading in position not exceeding 25 mm. So I hope all of you understood. If you have any difficulties, you can discuss with me. Thank you.